take an African history class, not as an undergrad, is that right? I went to the same place for my undergrad, my MA, and my PhD, and sometimes I forget when I took that. But I think that was as a graduate student, as an MA student. I took a class on Africa from a Professor Reynolds, who was himself from Africa, and it was a wonderful class. And he introduced me to um, the slave trade, the history of the North American slave trade in that class. He introduced all of us. He later served on my committee too, on my MA committee. Um, so I took that class. I didn't take an African American history class. I guess not it wasn't offered.
Yes, there was. I was at the University of Texas as an undergraduate from 1975 to 79. They did have an African American Studies program, I know, but it wasn't very visible. I wasn't ever made aware of it through the Department of History. I was a history major, and it seemed to me it wasn't very active, at least in terms of history, like many departments in that era. In the 1970s, there was one African American historian who taught African American history, and that seemed, as far as the history departments was concerned, to fulfill their obligations. So I cannot say I was very well served by my undergraduate institution in terms of African American studies. The courses I did take in American history and Southern history weren't exclusively white histories. The African American stories were told, but they weren't made as central as I think we would expect these days.